We are deep into Andor Season 2 now, and with the finale just a week away, things have never felt more intense. Episodes 7 through 9 pick up in 2 BBY and drop us straight into Yavin, which between arcs has become the new heart of the Rebel network. Some still operate off-world, but Yavin is where it all converges. Cassian's there, Bix is there, even Wilman's back, and while the Empire pushes forward with brutal force, the Rebellion is starting to fight back in full. But this arc, this is where everything breaks. Not just politically or militarily, but personally, for Cassian, for Mon Mothma, for Cyril Khan, and in the middle of it all, we get Andor's only true appearance of the Force.
There's a purpose to it. He's a messenger. There's someplace he needs to be.
And it hits with more weight than I think many fans ever anticipated. From devastating losses to a daring rescue mission on Coruscant. We're diving into the full breakdown of Andor episodes 7 to 9, how they connect to Rogue One, and why this arc might be the best in the series so far.
The winner writes the story.
Well, they haven't won yet.
Before we jump in, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on today's video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to catch more Andor Season 2 and wider Star Wars coverage, you're in the right place. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into it.
I'm sending someone I trust, someone I know I can trust. You'll ask if he's alone. He will say, I have friends everywhere. I have friends everywhere. Those words.
Alright, now on Yavin, it seems life has slowed down just enough for us to catch our breath, at least for now. Cassian's living with Bix, trying to recover from a blaster wound that refuses to heal, and honestly, he's not in a hurry to do anything that might make that worse. Wilman's also back at the base, which caught me off guard. I thought he'd stick it out with Saw Gerrera's partisans, but clearly something's brought him back. So yeah, Cassian's clearly been laying low, barely lifting a finger for Luthen, which hasn't gone unnoticed. That's when the message comes in. Luthen wants him back up and running again. He needs him, and you can already feel the tension building.
Maybe you should tell him yourself. Maybe you should tell us where you've been.
Because Cassian's not just ignoring orders, he's making peace with the idea that maybe somehow he's survived long enough to quit while he's ahead. There's a look in his eyes like he knows how lucky he is to still be breathing. And not for the first time, he's thinking about cashing out, but this time he's more serious about it than before. But of course, nothing about this life lets you walk away clean, as we already know. And just beneath the calm, you can already sense it, the next storm is coming straight for him. Now, Wilman's return wasn't just a surprise, it came with a mission. After spending time on Gorman, fighting with the locals against the Empire, he's come back with fire in his eyes and a target in his sights. He knows Dead Ramiro is there. He knows she is running the whole operation, and after what she did to his father back on Ferrix in Season 1, Wilman's not looking for justice, he's looking for revenge. His plan? Kill Dedra. That's the mission he wants Cassian to join him on. You see, Miro's movements are predictable. Twice a day she is visible in the square, in the open. It's risky but possible. And it gives the arc this simmering sense of dread, like you know it's about to go down, but you're not sure exactly how it's going to play out or when. Meanwhile, the real storm is brewing beneath Gorman's surface, literally. The mineral called calcite that the Empire's been obsessed with, I think we all know now that it's not for any energy efficiency program, it's for the Death Star, and that's exactly why Krennic's involved. This is his project, and this is the mineral he needs to line its reactors. Season 1 teased this is where it was always going. Season 2 doubles down. The Death Star is lurking behind almost every political move, and Gorman is the latest planet to be gutted in its name. We find out from Partagaz that the Empire is finally moving forward with full extraction, gouge mining.
The Emperor has taken a great interest in the situation.
Once that starts, Gorman's basically done. There'll be nothing left for anyone to call home. And all of this is being sold as peace, which hits especially hard if you remember Galen Erso's line to Krennic in Rogue One.
A confusing piece, but terrible.
That quote could have been stamped across the whole arc. Anyways, while all of this is playing out, Cyril's starting to connect the dots. He knew the Empire wanted to bait the rebels out, to force the Gorman front into the open. What he didn't know was that they were never planning to fight fair. They don't just want to crush resistance, they want to wipe the whole slate clean so no one's left to stand in their way when they effectively tear the planet apart. So the real question now is, what happens when the people meant to enforce order finally realise the Empire doesn't care about order at all? And yeah, one of my favourite moments in this entire arc is also one of the most unexpected. Bix takes Cassian to visit a Force healer on Yavin. And look, Cassian's not buying it. To him, it's all mystic mumbo jumbo. Very Han Solo, very grounded, very
simple tricks and nonsense.
But the moment he walks in, the healer picks him out instantly, no hesitation, no questions, just you. Bix brought him there hoping it might help him with his blaster wound, but what Cassian gets is something way deeper, because what the healer sees in him isn't pain, it's purpose. She calls him a messenger, and not just in the literal sense, but in a way that reframes everything we've seen across the show. Cassian's carried Maarva's message from Ferrix, Nemik's manifesto from Aldani, the spirit of Nakina 5 through Kina Loy, and we know what's coming next, the plans for the Death Star. Every step, every loss, every moment has built towards that, and this is the only time in Andor that the Force really shows up. No Jedi, no lightsabers, just that quiet, invisible current that's been pulling Cassian exactly where he needs to be.
You saw something.
Why do you keep pushing?
The healer even tells Biggs that while most people carry their past, Cassian gathers as he goes, and there's meaning to it. You feel that. That's not just good writing, that's legacy storytelling. So was this moment just a character beat or something bigger nudging Cassian towards his fate? Anyways, he pushes back, of course. He's not comfortable with the idea that some unforeseen force has been guiding him this whole time. But even he can't shake what's just happened. And before anyone can stop him, he's taken off to Gorman with Wilman against orders. They didn't want him to take the ship, but what they're going to do is Cassian. He goes where the fight is.
The day I need permission to come and go, I'm gone.
That day is near.
But what exactly is he walking into, and how much worse is it going to get before it gets better? Alright, quick pause. I want to show you something because honestly, I've been kind of obsessed with this. And Saber sent me their Revan V2 lightsaber, and yeah, as someone who grew up with the old plastic retractable ones from the toy shop swinging them around, this thing's on another level. I've owned a fair few replicas over the years, some of which you can see behind me in the videos. But this one, hands down, it's the best I've had. It's the NeoPixel version with a 32-inch blade, and the build quality is just phenomenal. Not just the hilt, which is this really solid aircraft-grade aluminium, but even the internals are properly designed. Which isn't always the case with lightsabers. I had one before where the motherboard snapped just by removing the battery. This one, no issues. It feels like it was built to last. The swing sounds are super responsive, no lag, no delay, and the audio is crystal clear. It's got 12 different blade colors, smooth swing, gesture control, clash effects. The works. I usually go classic, blue or red, but the options are there if you want to channel your inner Mace Windu or go full Disco Sith. Now personally, I'm mostly using mine for display, but if you've got little kiddies running around and they're not tidying their rooms, then you can channel your inner Darth Revan, not Anakin. That's too far. But seriously, it even comes with a stand, tools, spare screws, and yes, white gloves in the box so you can handle it properly if you're more of a collector. I didn't even dim the lights the first time I turned it on, and I was still surprised by how bright it was. If you want to check it out, hit the link in the description, and don't forget to use code JSW 2025 for 7% off. Alright, so back on Gorman, the tension finally snaps. Cassian and Wilman check into the same hotel we saw last time, and while Cassian's using a different name, the kid behind the desk definitely clocks him. He doesn't even bother pretending.
You'll have to carry your own bag this time. Another way.
It's a small moment, but the familiarity hits. We're not here for new beginnings, we're here for fallout, and that fallout comes fast. Imperial propaganda is already spreading across the galaxy, pushing the Gormans into a corner. The Empire barricades the center, however, the Gore refuse to back down. And Miro, she's just watching exactly like she did on Ferrix, stand back, put everyone in a box, and watch the chaos unfold. But this time, it's a little bit worse, because they've embedded inexperienced officers into the crowd, knowing full well that when things pop off, they'll panic, and they do. One sniper shot from the Empire takes out their own trooper, the rest of the Imperials think it came from the Gormans. And that's all the excuse they need. The second Ghorman Massacre begins.
Proceed.
Brutal, merciless, and public. Like, was this the Empire really just cracking down, or was it them also showing the rest of the galaxy what happens when a planet like Gorman steps out of line? Probably both. Anyways, Cassian didn't come to witness the massacre, he came for Miro. That was the mission, he just got caught up in something far bigger. As he checks out of the hotel, we get a great callback to Rogue One. Thankful for the check-in clerk's help, he tells him that he hopes things work out for him, and the kid responds,
Rebellions are built on hope.
It's a beautiful full circle moment, a line that starts with Cassian, well, this hotel worker, passed to Jin and echoed across the rebellion. Meanwhile, Cyril Khan finally sees the truth. The Empire he's been obsessively loyal to, it never cared about justice, it never cared about him. And when Miro keeps him in the dark, that betrayal hits just as hard.
What have we been doing here?
For a second, you think he's going to snap out of it, maybe even join Cassian, but no, he snaps in the other direction. What I found really fascinating about Andor is how Cyril's journey mirrors that of Cassian's. The only difference between them was one was raised closer to the rebellion in spirit, and the other one was raised in the heart of the Empire. So what happens when someone who built their identity around a lie sees that lie collapse in real time? But yeah, amongst the chaos, Cyril ends up spotting Cassian, almost beats him to a pulp and pulls a blaster. For a moment, it looks like Cassian's done, if you haven't seen Rogue One that is. But then, in comes Granddaddy Gorman, blasts Cyril in the head, saving Cassian's life, and just like that, Cyril's gone. Brasso, Cinta, now Cyril. They're dropping like flies, and we've still got an arc to go. With chaos erupting in the streets, the Empire unleashes KX security droids, just when Cassian and Wilman are completely boxed in. The same Gorman fighter who accidentally shot Cinta in the last arc runs down one of the droids with a transport. That droid is the one that will eventually become K-2SO. It's funny, isn't it, how the smaller side characters can some way shape the future of the galaxy. Anyways, Wilman stays behind, again refusing to leave someone he's fallen for. Cassian escapes, emotionally wrecked by what he's just witnessed, and back on Yavin, Val's stepping away from the front lines for a while after losing Cinta. She's shaken. She inspects a weapon.
Who belongs to this?
I think that's mine.
And I'm pretty sure it's Melshi's old blaster, the same one Cassian gave him, the same one that raised Skeen's suspicions of Cassian on Aldhani. It's a blink and you miss it kind of thing, but Val seemed to recognise this blaster immediately. Then we cut to Dedra. She's alone, panicking. She might not know Cyril's dead yet, but she probably suspects. And either way, she's feeling the weight, the cost of control. But even the people in charge aren't safe from what the Empire is becoming. You have to wonder, at what point does even the most loyal cog in the machine realise that the machine's actually eating itself? We also see Edie, Cyril's mother, crying as she watches the fallout on the news. And then we enter one of the strongest moments, and one of my personal favourites of the entire series. The events of the Ghorman Massacre have spread across the galaxy, and Mon Mothma's planning a speech to the Senate. It's not the rebel speech, but it's still being broadcast across the galaxy.
Tell no one. Be ready to leave the moment you're done. And be very careful.
And once it's done, she's gone. A backdoor escape to Yavin. Because once she steps out of that Senate chamber, she'll be public enemy number one. And yeah, Bail Organa's team is supposed to extract her, but Luthen tells her that route's compromised. She can't go with Bail's people, she has to go with Cassian. And Luthen, he's not hiding anymore. No wig, no antique dealer front, just the rebel leader we've always known he really is. No more shadows. The masks are off, and now it's all or nothing.
I have friends. Everywhere, those words.
Anyways, Erskine gets fired. Turns out he's been working with Luthen since probably around the wedding, not to hurt Mon, but to protect her. Still, she doesn't trust him, can't, not after everything. Cassian's still reeling and goes to Coruscant undercover as pressed to carry out the extraction. And when Mon gives her speech calling out Palpatine by name, the Empire scrambles to shut it down.
Emperor Palpatine!
Too late, the room's locked, the signal's out. Outside the chamber, Cassian finds her, and when he says,
I have friends everywhere.
she knows Luthen sent him. And the escape, perfect. Raw, quiet, everything it needed to be. Cassian flying Mon to safety mirrors what Marva and Luthen once did for him. Now, back at the safe house, Wilman's leg is wrecked. Cassian's next mission? Get him medical help on Yavin, but Mon isn't coming with them. The rebellion's rewriting the narrative, taking her back with an escort from Yavin, so the galaxy sees this is an organised rebellion, not one man pulling it all off. General Draven steps in to confirm Gold Squadron will be handling Mon's transport, and for fans of Rebels, the pieces slide right into place. We know what's coming. Hera, Ezra, the four works. This is how it all connects. A story that started as quiet whispers is now being etched into Star Wars history. But yeah, before Cassian leaves, he tells Draven there's a dead KX unit on board. They've got all the pieces, and soon we'll have K-2SO. Cassian returns to the forest, to Bix. He tells her he's out, he's done. It's the same conversation he once tried to have with Marva, the same hope for a life beyond the fight, but just like before, it slips away. Now the next morning he wakes up to find Bix is gone, and she left only a message behind. She doesn't want to be the reason he steps away from the rebellion, so she steps away herself. She says she'll find him once it's all over, and of course we know she won't. Cassian never makes it out of Scarif. He runs out hoping to catch her transport, but it's too late. The moment's gone.
The transport! Where are they?
Everything is leaving went this morning!
Then he's called inside and we get one final powerful image, the birth of K-2SO, like a scene almost from Frankenstein's monster. And really, one part of Cassian's life ends, another begins, and the rebellion marches on. Now look, I've loved Andor since day one, but this arc, episodes 7 through 9, I think it might be my favourite stretch of the entire show, and that's saying a lot, because Aldhani, Nakina 5 and Rick's Road all set the bar ridiculously high. But the extraction from Coruscant, the Force moment on Yavin, the Gorman fallout, it all just hits different. What really struck me was just how well Tony Gilroy handled the Force in this arc. In a show without Jedi or lightsabers, he still made the Force feel present, not as spectacle, but as something spiritual. It stripped right back to what A New Hope hinted at in the very beginning, an unseen, quiet current, something that guides rather than commands. The whole scene with the Force healer picking Cassian out of the crowd, calling him a messenger, that's one of the most powerful Force moments I've seen in years, and not a single lightsaber needed. It wasn't about tricks or combat, it was about purpose, legacy, and fate, and Gilroy just nailed it. He brought that mythical energy back into Star Wars in a way that felt earned. Makes you wonder, is this what Star Wars has been missing lately? That quiet power beneath all the noise. Also, massive shout out to Dan Gilroy, the guy behind the arc's writing. He's absolutely crushed it here. He also wrote the Aldani arc back in Season 1, which was another standout. So with Tony Gilroy stepping away after Andor, I honestly hope Dan Gilroy sticks around. He gets it. He knows how to make Star Wars feel political, personal, and emotional without losing its soul. Episodes 7 through 9 aren't just building toward a finale, they are the payoff. And if this is how strong the penultimate arc is, I can't wait to see how it all ends. So what was the one moment from this arc that hit you the hardest, and why? As always, drop your thoughts, theories, and wildest speculations down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming ones. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one, and may the Force be with you.